High above the blue Earth, a giant ship slowly moved in orbit. It was not a normal spaceship. It was the biggest, richest, and most beautiful space liner ever made by humans. Its name was Celestial Queen. People called it the Floating Palace. The ship was 5 kilometers long and had everything: golden halls, swimming pools, gardens, shopping malls, and even a cinema that showed movies from all over the world. It carried the richest people: businessmen, actors, politicians, and royals. They paid millions just to stay on the ship for 1 week. Captain Zara Khan stood on the main deck watching Earth through the big glass window. She had sharp eyes and a calm face. Her uniform was clean and perfect. She was known as one of the best captains in space travel. Born in Karachi, Pakistan, she had flown many missions before. But nothing like this. This ship is not just a machine. She said to her first officer, a tall man named Riker, "It's a symbol of human pride." Suddenly, a beep came from the control panel. Zara turned. "Report." "It's nothing serious," Riker said, checking the screen. "Just a small signal. It's probably space dust hitting the radar." But it wasn't just space dust. Down in the engineering room, Leo Grant, the chief engineer, was fixing a power relay. He wore a blue jumpsuit and had oil on his hands. Was humming an old Earth song when suddenly his screen blinked. A strange signal appeared. It was soft and low, like a heartbeat. But it was not from Earth, and not from any known satellite. Leo frowned. "That's not supposed to be there." He pressed a few buttons. The signal got stronger. It felt alive. The ship's lights flickered for a moment. Then, everything went back to normal. Leo reported the event to the bridge. "There was a small power drop," he said over the comm. "Also, something weird. A signal. I'm sending the data to you." Captain Zara looked at the signal. It was strange, like a whisper in the dark. She didn't like it. "Keep it quiet," she said. "No need to scare the guests." On deck 17, the rich passengers were enjoying a party. Music played, people danced, and waiters served drinks in crystal glasses. One man, Mr. Santiago, a billionaire from Brazil, left the party to take a private call. He walked down the hall and entered his luxury suite. The door closed behind him. 5 minutes later, the room lights blinked. The door opened again. But the room was empty. Mr. Santiago had disappeared. The next morning, the ship's security team checked the cameras. What they saw was impossible. In the video, Mr. Santiago walked into his room, took off his coat, and sat on the bed. Then, without warning, he stood up, walked to the wall, and stepped into it. Not through a door, through solid metal. His body became soft light and vanished. Then the screen went black. Captain Zara watched the video 10 times. It didn't make sense. "There must be some error," Riker said. "Maybe someone hacked the video?" "No," Zara said. "This isn't a trick. Something real happened." She called an emergency meeting. But they didn't tell the passengers yet. The rich guests were not ready for panic. Later that night, Leo went back to the signal data, cleaned the audio, and played it again. He expected noise, but what he heard made him freeze. It was a whisper. A deep alien voice. "We are watching." Leo's hands shook. He ran to the captain. "Captain," he said, "this isn't just a signal. It's a message." That night, on the edge of Earth's shadow, the Celestial Queen continued to float in silence. But inside, fear had started to grow. One man gone. Strange voice. Lights flickering. Signal from deep space. Captain Zara looked at the stars and whispered to herself, "What did we bring aboard?" The next morning, the Celestial Queen was quiet. As quiet, Captain Zara Khan sat in the command center with a serious face. All screens were active. Her team of officers watched the ship's cameras again and again. Everyone was trying to understand one thing. How did Mr. Santiago disappear from a locked room without a trace? Zara turned to Riker. "Did you find anything new?" Riker shook his head. "No, Captain. The door never opened. No one went in or out. The walls are solid metal. There's no secret exit." Zara took a deep breath. This ship cost billions. It's the safest ship ever made. So how does a man vanish into a wall? Nobody had the answer. Down in the crew quarters, Leo Grant couldn't sleep. The strange voice from the signal played over and over in his head. "We are watching." He checked the data again. The signal was still active, soft, steady, and alien. It wasn't just random noise. It had a pattern, like a heartbeat, but not human. Suddenly his monitor flashed. A red warning, unauthorized access. Deck 12, spa area. Leo stood up fast. Who's in the spa at 4 a.m.? Deck 12 was quiet. Soft lights glowed across the empty spa. Fountains flowed, and calming music played. But near the water wall, something was glowing, a small blue object floating in the air. It was round, smooth, and pulsing with light. A maintenance worker named Amir walked into the room. He was just doing a routine check. He stopped when he saw the glowing object. "Hello?" he said. The object made a low hum. Amir slowly reached out. The moment his finger touched the surface flash, a bright light filled the room. When the security team arrived 5 minutes later, the room was empty. Only Amir's tool bag was left on the floor. Now there were 2 people missing. Zara watched the security footage. Amir had touched the glowing object and vanished in front of the camera. The light was too bright to see clearly, but for a moment his body looked like it was turning into energy. Riker looked pale. "This is not natural, Captain," Zara agreed. "This isn't a kidnapping, this is something else." Zara and Leo met in the captain's private office. "There's a pattern," Leo said. "Both missing people were near that object. It's not from our ship. I checked the logs. It wasn't listed in cargo. Someone hid it aboard." Zara nodded. "Or it found a way in." Leo looked confused. "What do you mean?" "Signal," she said slowly. "What if this object didn't come from us? What if it came to us?" Later that day, a little girl named Hira, traveling with her family, was playing near the observation deck. She saw something shiny behind a wall panel and followed it. Her mother screamed when she disappeared for a few seconds, but then reappeared crying. Security rushed in. "What happened?" Zara asked gently. The little girl looked up with tears. "A man went into the wall. Then he turned into light. Then he was gone." Zara's blood ran cold. The ship's AI, Aurora, began acting strange too. Sometimes it repeated questions. Sometimes it made small mistakes. At one point, it started speaking in a slow, deep voice that was not programmed. "This ship is not yours. It is being tested." Then the AI shut down for 10 seconds and restarted like nothing happened. Zara stood in the main hall that evening. She looked at the happy passengers laughing and dancing again. They had no idea what was happening. "We can't keep this secret forever," Riker said. "I know," she replied, "but if we tell them now, we'll have chaos." Zara knew something big was happening, something beyond human science. That night, Leo went back to the spa. The glowing object was still there, but now it had grown larger, and it was humming louder. He touched his earpiece. "Captain, I think it's waking up." Chief Engineer Leo Grant walked carefully into the spa on Deck 12. The glowing object was now the size of a football. It floated silently, spinning slowly in the air. Blue and white lights blinked from its surface like tiny stars. Leo was alone. He took out his scanner and pointed it at the object. No heat, no radiation.
"Oh, but it's alive somehow,"
he whispered. He reached forward, almost touching it again. A whisper moved through the wall, not through the air, but inside the metal. Leo froze. "Who's there?" he asked. No answer. He placed his hand flat against the wall. Another whisper came clear this time. "You are not alone." In the captain's office, Zara watched reports from all over the ship, lights flickering on multiple decks, strange whispers heard by crew members. One passenger claimed their mirror spoke back to them, and now another person was missing. A waitress from the dining hall, Zara slammed her fist on the desk. "That's for people. Gone without a trace." Riker stood beside her. "We need to. Contact Earth?" "No," Zara said quickly. "Not yet. If this is an alien signal, we don't know who else might be listening." Riker frowned. You think we've been invaded? Zara shook her head. Not invaded, studied, Leo returned. With news, there's something hidden under the floor panels, he said. In the luxury suites and the spa. Alien tech. I checked. It's not part of the ship's original build. Zara narrowed her eyes. Smuggled aboard. Leo shook his head. No way. It's connected to the walls. Grown into the structure. Like it was always part of the ship. But hiding. They went to the spa together. Leo opened a panel near the glowing object. Under the smooth flooring, they saw it. Dark black metal with alien symbols glowing faintly. The lines moved slowly. Like liquid, Zara whispered. This isn't human design. No, Leo said, and I think it's waking up. Meanwhile, in cabin 420, an old professor named Dr. Wang was watching the stars. He was on the ship to give a lecture on ancient civilizations. But tonight, his eyes were locked on his mirror. It was moving. He got up and walked close. His reflection looked wrong. Too slow? Then it smiled on its own. Dr. Wang stepped back in shock, and the reflection whispered, "We remember Earth." Then, like a fog, the reflection faded, and the glass cracked. Zara called a private emergency meeting with Leo, Riker, and 2 scientists. We have to assume this ship is not under full human control anymore. She said. Leo added, this could be a test. The alien tech is reacting to people. It's reading emotions, actions, maybe even morality. What do you mean? Asked Riker. Leo looked serious. The people who vanished, they were all selfish. Mr. Santiago was known for corruption. Spa worker took bribes. The waitress was caught stealing. So, Zara said slowly, the ship is choosing who stays and who disappears. That night, the AI came online again, but its voice had changed. No longer friendly or soft, now deep, slow, cold. This vessel is under observation. Do not interfere. Zara stood on the bridge and spoke to it. Who are you? No answer what? Do you want? The AI responded with just 2 words. Human nature. Then the lights dimmed. The ship became quiet again. Later, Leo walked through Deck 9. Everything was still. Still. As he walked past a wall, he heard it again, a soft whisper inside the metal. You are being judged. He turned fast. No one was there the next. Morning news symbols appeared near the glowing object. The object was now the size of a basketball, pulsed like a living heart. Zara stared at it. What happens when it finishes, whatever it's doing? Leo answered softly. Then I think it shows us the results. Captain Zara Khan stood inside the ship's main control room, staring at the central screen. Strange alien symbols had begun appearing across the ship's internal systems and walls. Control panels, even mirrors. The AI was no longer fully under their control. And now, for the first time, a voice came clearly through the ship's main speakers. A deep, smooth, emotionless voice spoke. Only humans may enter the passage. Everyone on the bridge froze. Zara leaned forward. What passage? The voice said nothing more. The message had played on every screen. Even in the luxury cabins, the rich guests had heard it. Panic began to rise again. Engineer Leo Grant was already moving. He followed the energy trail from the glowing object on Deck 12, using a handheld scanner. He traced the signal deeper into the lower decks. The air grew colder. The lights flickered. Everything felt wrong. Finally, he stopped at Cargo Bay 3. The large metal doors opened slowly. Inside. The room was dark, empty except for something strange in the center. A doorway made of light. It floated just above the ground. It's perfectly still. It looked like a vertical circle made from electricity. Blue sparks danced around the edges. The inside was black, like a hole in space. Leo stared at it, then reached for his communicator. Back on the bridge, Zara listened as Leo reported in. There's a portal in the cargo bay. It's not man-made. It wasn't here before. And only I can see it. What do you mean only you? Zara asked. I brought 2 crewmen. They don't see anything. For them, the room is empty. Zara's eyes narrowed, so only humans can see it, just like the message said. She made a decision. I'm coming down there. Minutes later, Zara entered the cargo bay with Leo. The portal glowed softly in the middle of the dark room. Zara saw it immediately. It's real, she whispered. She walked around it slowly. There were no wires, no machines. It was just floating, waiting. Leo checked his scanner again. Captain, this portal is connected to the alien tech inside the walls, and it's using our ship's power to stay open. Zara looked into the darkness inside the ring. Is it a trap? Leo gave a half smile. Only one way to find out. Zara sent Riker a message. You're in command. If we don't come back in 1 hour, seal this bay. Then she and Leo stepped into the portal. Instant silence. They reappeared in a completely different place. It was another ship, but not human. The walls were silver and smooth, without edges or bolts. The floor glowed under their feet. Strange symbols floated in the air like holograms. Everything was clean, silent, empty. Zara looked around. Where are we? Leo pointed ahead. It looks like a control room. They walked slowly through long, curved halls. No doors, just open spaces. Every wall hummed softly, like it was alive in the center room. They found something shocking. A large console filled with controls, but some of them were clearly human technology. Old Earth designs. 1970s style switches, CRT screens, even a NASA logo faded on one panel. What the hell? Leo whispered. This is built by humans. But this ship is alien, Zara said. They both looked at each other. Leo nodded slowly. This place was made for us, or by us a long time ago. On one screen, a video started playing. Automatically, it showed an old human scientist speaking in a soft voice. If you're seeing this, humanity has reached the stars again. He looked tired, like he'd been waiting a long time. We left this ship behind during the Great Exodus. Thousands of years ago, we knew Earth would forget. We hid this message in the stars. Now, you have found us again, Zara whispered. This is a memory from ancient humans. The man on the screen continued, This ship is part of the judgment. We created it with help from allies. It will scan the hearts of your people. The selfish will vanish. The brave will rise. Only the worthy may carry the future of Earth. Then the screen went black. Leo stood in silence. Zara spoke slowly. We're not being attacked. We're being judged. Yes, Leo said. The test has already begun. Back on the Celestial Queen, passengers were scared. Another person had vanished this time, a corrupt politician. But something strange also happened. A young nurse saved a child during a panic. The moment she did, a soft glow surrounded her hand. She heard a whisper. Worthy. Zara and Leo returned. Through the portal, they knew now. This wasn't just a luxury cruise. It was a trial. The ship was testing the soul of humanity, passenger by passenger, and the real challenge had just begun. Zara Khan sat in her private quarters looking out at Earth through the wide window. It was beautiful, calm, glowing in the darkness of space. But inside her mind, there was no peace. The Celestial Queen was no longer a cruise ship, was a testing ground, a stage. Passengers were still disappearing. But now Zara understood these weren't random vanishings. The alien technology was scanning humans one by one, watching their choices, reading their minds, judging their actions, and somewhere deep in the cargo bay, the portal was still open. It was time to go back. Captain Zara and Chief Engineer Leo returned to the alien ship. This time, they brought two others, a scientist named Dr. Arjun Singh and a young security officer named Elaine. The alien vessel was quiet, glowing with soft light. The air felt strange, heavy, but clean. The floating symbols around them moved slowly, like they were waiting. Dr. Arjun looked around with wide eyes. This place, it's alive in some way. Leo nodded. And parts of it were built by humans. Very old humans. They walked deeper into the ship. Soon, they reached a massive circular room. It looked like a council chamber, with smooth chairs facing a central platform. In the middle of the room, a tall crystal pillar glowed with energy. Zara stepped forward. Suddenly, the pillar lit up, and a deep voice filled the room. "Welcome to the Ark." They all froze. The voice continued. "This vessel was created by the first humans, long before your current Earth history. It carries the knowledge and warnings of a forgotten age." Dr. Arjun whispered, "This is proof. Ancient humans reached the stars before they left this behind." The voice went on. "This ship is part of the Judgment Network, a final test, to see if Earth is ready to join the Galactic Circle again." Leo looked at Zara. "So Earth isn't alone in the galaxy. There are others watching us." Zara asked the air. "Why now?" "Why are you testing us now?" the voice replied. "Your people have reached space again. You have power, but no unity. Intelligence, but no wisdom. We must see if you are worthy to lead or to destroy." Back on the Celestial Queen, strange things were still happening. A rich man pushed his way to the escape pods, demanding to be taken home. He slapped a crew member and shouted at others. Seconds later, he vanished right in front of everyone. No flash, no sound. Just gone. On the same deck, a young couple gave their room to a pregnant woman with no space. A warm glow surrounded them for a moment. The lights on the ceiling blinked 3 times, soft and blue. The ship was watching. It was responding back in the Ark. The 4 humans followed a new hallway, led them to a long wall filled with images moving like videos. They saw scenes of ancient Earth cities in space, humans working with aliens, great towers on Mars, ships larger than anything they had seen. Then, war, explosions, betrayals, Earth burning. The video ended. The voice returned. "We warned Earth, but history was forgotten. This time, Earth must prove it is ready." Elaine asked, "What happens if we fail?" The voice didn't answer. But Leo said softly, "The disappearances. That's the warning. If we fail, Earth doesn't just lose this ship. We lose our place in the galaxy." Zara stepped forward.
What
"Do we need to do?" The voice spoke one last time. "Choose, prove, lead, or vanish like before." The team returned to the Celestial Queen. Everything felt heavier now. Every decision mattered. Zara sent a secret message to all crew members. "This ship is testing us. Every action is judged. Help the weak. Stop panic. Guide others. This is not just a flight, it's our trial." Some crew didn't believe it, but the ones who did began to act. One day later, a new change happened. The ship's main screen lit up with a symbol, Earth, in the center, surrounded by hundreds of alien ships. Then the message came. "Judgment reaches the final stage. Your species is being watched by all." Zara looked out the window. A new object had appeared in the distance. Not a ship. A gate large, ancient, beautiful, and hundreds of alien eyes were now watching Earth's children. The Ark had spoken now. Humanity had to answer. A cold silence filled the command. Bridge of the Celestial Queen. Every screen now showed the same thing. A glowing ring in deep space and alien gate. Spinning slowly near the ship, behind it floated hundreds of ships. Not human, different shapes, colors, and designs. Some were made of light, others of black crystal or metal that shimmered like water. They were watching Captain. Sarikhan stood frozen, his eyes locked on the gate. A voice spoke again through every speaker in every room. "This is the final stage. Humanity will now face the trial." Lights on the Celestial Queen flickered, then everything shut down. Complete darkness. The artificial gravity stopped. People floated. Screams echoed in the dark hallways. Then, soft white light returned. Zara pressed her emergency. "Come, bridge team, respond." Leo's voice came through. "All systems are offline. Only life support remains." The voice returned. "Each human will now face a choice. Alone. No one can help them. Their actions will decide the future. Passengers and crew suddenly found themselves separated. Each one was now inside a small glowing room, alone. No doors, no windows, just a voice. "You are being tested." Lane, the security officer, stood inside her glowing room. A screen appeared in front of her. It showed two people, a rich passenger and a wounded janitor. Both were trapped in a locked room with only one oxygen mask. The voice said, "Choose who will live." Elaine closed her eyes. The rich passenger was screaming for help. The janitor was quiet, holding his chest. Elaine made her choice in another room. A teenage girl named Maliha faced her own trial. She was shown a button. Pressing it would remove all pain from her body. But it would cause pain to someone she couldn't see. The voice said, "Comfort or conscience?" She cried, didn't press the button. Zara Khan was taken to her own room. The voice said, "You can destroy the Ark, or let the alien technology spread across Earth." Two buttons appeared. Zara stayed still. She thought about humanitine, the rich passengers, but the ordinary people, the children, the brave, the kind. She pressed nothing and said, "We need a chance. Not control, not destruction, just a chance. To prove who we are." Lights blinked softly. After what felt like hours, the trials ended. The ship powered back on. People were back in their rooms, chairs, halls, confused, shaken. But something was different. The passengers who had acted with kindness felt stronger, lighter. The ship responded to them. The ones who had chosen greed or fear were slowly disappearing. One man ran through the halls begging for help. He had taken a child's food during the blackout. He vanished in a flash of blue light. Another woman had shared her coat with a freezing old man. She now glowed softly. As she walked, the Celestial Queen itself was changing. Leo ran into the bridge, face pale. "Captain," he said, "the alien gate. It's opening." Outside the ship, the gate spun faster. A new tunnel of light formed, stretching into deep space. The voice returned. "Earth stands on the edge. The old worlds are watching. Only one final act remains." Zara stood at the center of the bridge. "What do we have to do?" A final message appeared on the screen. "Sacrifice. Will you protect only yourself, or choose the good of all?" Then, an alert flashed across the ship. A core overload had begun. The Celestial Queen was set to explode by design, part of the final test. Zara looked at Leo, Riker, and Elaine. "I think we have to make a choice. This ship can be saved. But if we do, the alien tech will vanish. The gate will close forever. And if we let it explode?" Riker asked. Leo replied, "We lose the ship, but save the Ark, and open the gate to all of humanity." It was quiet. Zara looked at her crew. Then she said, "Prepare to evacuate everyone. We're saving the Ark." Alarms rang. Escape pods launched. Crew members guided passengers with calm and care. No fighting, no panic. This time, people helped each other. Zara, Leo, and a small group stayed behind to guide the final systems. The timer reached 10 seconds. Zara looked out at Earth, then smiled. "Let them know what we chose." The Celestial Queen exploded in silence, a bright light in the darkness. The gate absorbed the shock out and opened fully. The alien ships began to move. Soft final message echoed across space. Humanity has passed the trial. The explosion of the Celestial Queen was bright and silent. It's like a star being born from Earth's orbit. It looked like a spark in the sky. Inside that spark was sacrifice, bravery, and the heart of humanity. And the galaxy had seen it far beyond. The broken remains of the luxury space liner, the massive alien gate, now stood open. A wide tunnel of light reached through space, connected to a distant star system. One by one, alien ships began to appear, floating around the gate like quiet observers. They came in silence, no weapons, no fear. They had been watching, waiting. Zara Khan floated in a rescue pod with Leo, Grant, Riker, and a few others. Her hand was pressed to the glass as she watched the impossible sight. ships of every shape, size, and species now surrounding the empty space where the Celestial Queen had. "Bin. Leo whispered we passed. "They saw what we did. The trial is over." Zara nodded. "Now comes the answer." Back on Earth, people were still unaware of what had happened in orbit. News channels spoke only of a communication loss with the Celestial Queen. The government stayed silent, but deep inside a UN Space Command Center, the real story was spreading. A sudden signal was received strong, clear, and not from Earth. The message was simple. "Your people are welcome. The gate is open." Right. The Ark stands with
Earth?
The entire control room froze. One general stood up and asked, "What Ark?" But one scientist understood. She whispered, "This is first contact." And we didn't go to them. They came to us. In the following days, dozens of escape pods were rescued. Survivors told the story of the alien portal, the judgment, and the choices made at first. People didn't believe them. But then the Alien Council sent a message to every nation on Earth, broadcast on all devices. New voice spoke. "Humanity has been observed. God, you are imperfect. But your courage, your kindness, and your will to protect others has been seen. You may now take your place among the Galactic Circle." The message ended with a gift, a map of the stars, including new routes and knowledge of alien systems. Weeks passed, the world changed. Earth united like never before. Wars paused. Old enemies talked. Leaders from all nations came together. The gate now floated quietly in high orbit, protected by both Earth satellites and alien beacons. It was Earth's invitation to the galaxy, and it all began with the sacrifice of the Celestial Queen, Zara. Khan stood on the deck of a new ship, the Unity 1, Earth's first official ambassador vessel to the Galactic Council. Built using alien and human technology together, it was sleek, fast, and powerful. Leo stood beside her, wearing a new uniform. "You ready for this?" he asked. Zara smiled. "We gave everything. It's time to see what we earned." The ship moved slowly through the gate, and beyond it, a new galaxy waited. Planets with golden forests, cities floating in the clouds, species that looked like living shadows, others like walking trees. Some waved. Others simply watched, and at the center of it all, the Galactic Council hollow ring-shaped space station the size of a small moon czar. Leo and their team stepped into the council hall, walking on polished crystal floors. Hundreds of alien eyes turned toward them. One being stood in the center. Tall figure made of shifting light, it spoke without moving its mouth. "Welcome, children of Earth. Your test is complete. You chose selflessness. You chose unity. You chose others before yourselves. That is true strength." Zara bowed her head. "We're not perfect," she said, "but we're ready to grow." The being nodded. Double quotes, then rise. "For Earth is no longer alone. Earth is now one of us." Back on Earth, people gathered around screens as Zara's image appeared broadcast live from light years away. She spoke clearly and proudly. "Today, we rise not just as humans, but as Earthkind. We were tested, and we chose to protect each other. We have joined something greater. The stars are no longer silent, and the galaxy is listening." The world cheered. From Karachi to Cairo, from New York to Nairobi, people cried and clapped, not out of fear but hope. Humanity had not just survived. Humanity had been seen and accepted. The Galactic Council Hall was filled with hundreds of alien leaders. They came in all forms, some tall like giants, others small like insects, some with skin like stone, others glowing with energy. And now, for the first time in galactic history, a human stood among them. Captain Zara Khan of Earth. Her team stood. Behind her, Leo Grant, Riker, Elaine, and the survivors of the Celestial Queen. The central platform glowed as the council leader. A being made of shifting light addressed the hall. Earth has passed the trial of judgment, but one final test remains. Zara stepped forward. Another test. What now? The being nodded. Leadership. Earth is now a candidate to become a seed world, one that protects and spreads life. but with it comes danger, responsibility, and enemies. Suddenly, an alarm rang through the chamber. One of the Council's security ships was under attack by a rogue species called the Growl. These were ancient enemies of the Council, brutal and proud, who rejected peace. A message came through, loud and clear: we do not accept humans in the galaxy. You are weak, your hearts are soft, your history is war and chaos. You do not belong. The alien council fell silent. Many members began to doubt Earth. Whispers spread quickly. Maybe the Growl were right. Maybe humans weren't ready. Zara's team looked worried. Leo whispered, "They're turning against us." Zara didn't move. She stepped forward onto the platform and spoke with strength in her voice. "You say humans are weak? You say our past is full of war? You're right, but every time we fall, we stand up again. We fight for each other. We build, we rise, and we never stop. We're not perfect, but we are human. And when we protect what we love, we are unstoppable." A soft silence fell across the council. Then the council leader spoke. "Earth has made its choice. Do you now accept the final role?"
To defend?
"Not just yourselves, but others." Zara turned to her team. No one hesitated. Leo stepped forward. "We're ready." Riker smiled. "Let's show them how humans do it." Elaine cracked her knuckles. Time to knock. Moments later, Earth's new ship Unity 1 was leading a joint mission to defend the attacked outpost. The Growl fleet was large and heavily armed. Dozens of their ships surrounded the station, but Unity 1 didn't run. Zara gave the order. "Shields up, weapons ready." Leo smiled from engineering. "Let's give the galaxy a proper introduction." Unity 1 charged into the heart of the Growl fleet. Missiles flew. Shields held strong. The ship moved like a dance-fast, smart, fearless. Other Council ships joined the fight, inspired by Earth's bravery. In just minutes, the Growl ships were retreating. Zara stood tall on the bridge. "They said we don't belong," she said. "Let's make sure they never forget our name." The battle ended. Earth had won its first fight not alone. But as part of something bigger, the Council now looked at humanity with new eyes. The Council leader made it official. Earth is no longer just a world. Earth is now a voice, a guardian, a flame. On Earth, the entire planet celebrated. People sang in the streets. Flags from every nation were raised, not in war, but in unity. The stars were open now. Humanity had earned its seat at the table, and they had earned something more powerful: respect. Weeks later, on a peaceful new space station orbiting the gate, Zara sent her first message to all humans, broadcast in every language, every screen, every device. She stood proud in her new uniform, marked with Earth's symbol and the Council crest. We were tested, we were judged, and we chose each other. We chose kindness, bravery, and sacrifice. When the galaxy doubted us, we stood tall. We are not just survivors. We're not just Earthlings. We are humanity. F asterisk. Yeah, asterisk. Asterisk. And the stars are ours. In the distance, new ships were being built. New alliances formed. New humans trained to travel the stars, not as guests, but as guardians. The legend of the Celestial Queen lived on, but more powerful than the ship was the spirit of the people who had ridden it, the spirit of Earth, the spirit of us all. The end.